Hello, everybody. Max Scoville here with Scott Collura. We are on the streets of New York City, where we are here for Comic-Con. And Scott, you just got out of the Star Trek panel. Yeah. What did they have to show us?
Star Trek. So we did Star Trek Picard. We got the new trailer for that. We got a Star Trek Discovery trailer for Season 3. And we got an announcement that the new short treks, which are the short Star Trek films they're making, they're starting today. The first one just dropped, and it features Spock in number 1, for who were on Star Trek Discovery last season. So they're kind of bringing them back because they were super popular. And it's Spock's first day on the Enterprise, actually. That's what that short's about, yeah.
Nice. So the thing I think everyone's really dying to know about is Picard, and we got some big news about that. Can you go a little bit into that?
Yeah, so in Star Trek Picard, we finally get to see Riker and Troy. They're back, and Picard, it's in the trailer for the Picard. Riker and Troy are living sort of in a country house. They have kids now, it seems. They got married in the last movie that we saw them in 20 years ago. And Picard goes to Riker either for help or for advice. We're not really sure what it is. But I have to say, seeing Jonathan Frakes again as Riker and hearing Deanna Troy's voice, I got emotional. I really did.
Now, they went into a little bit about sort of how this series came together, and it sounded like Patrick Stewart didn't want to just do a reunion show.
Yeah, so he did not want it just to be TNG, the reunion. And so they said, as far as who they decided to bring back from the old cast, it had to really be kind of important to Picard's character. It had to be something where there would be an emotional moment of some kind between them. So that's why I guess we're seeing that Riker's back, Troy's back, but we haven't seen any signs of other characters like Worf or Geordi. Data's back too, and it seems like now that it's a dream or something, that's how they're bringing him back. Because they're in the trailer that was dropped today, Data and Picard are wearing their old-fashioned uniforms from the old show, and it seems like it's a dream sequence anyway. We'll see. We don't know for sure, but
well, what's really cool about this is that they are treating this as it takes place 30 years after the Next Generation, and they are kind of basically keeping track of everything that's happened between this series and the last events that we saw Picard's, which was Nemesis. Yeah. Did they talk about that at all?
They did. They said that even though we might not see everything that's happened in this season of the show, everything that happened to Picard since we last saw him, they know what it is in their heads. They've kind of built out the timeline of what Picard has been up to. He's definitely not in Starfleet anymore, and people in the trailer are kind of like, why do you really want to go back to that? And he's trying to. For some reason, they're keeping it kind of mysterious. We don't know what his mission is. And actually, the admiral or whatever she is at Starfleet basically tells him to go away. She doesn't want anything to do with him. So he has to then find a new group of kind of a ragtag group of misfits to team up with, and that's going to be his new crew, I guess.
I like this. This is the next generation. Did you have any sort of hints about which characters those are going to be, or like what they're going to be like on the show?
They're being pretty cagey about details, but it seems as though one of the characters is an old acquaintance. She's played by Michelle Hurd. She's an old acquaintance of Picard's, and things like didn't work out between them. I don't know if it's a love interest or not. And she kind of implied that she has some kind of a vice or an addiction or something, which is kind of a different thing for a Star Trek main character. Usually that would be a one-off kind of story that an alien would have. But for in the perfect humanity world of Starfleet, usually you can't even get drunk. They drink synthahol in Star Trek. So that'll be interesting. There's another character who's ex-Starfleet, and he had some kind of a bad experience when he was in Starfleet that made him leave it behind, and he seems distrustful of Picard as a result. Alison Pill plays a robotics expert, and that's pretty much all she would say about her character, but it seems as though she's probably going to have something to do with the Data aspect of it all.
Nice.
So.
Well, it's good. It's some of the gangs back together, and then there's some new characters to keep things interesting, and the whole thing has quite a lot of production value to it.
Oh my God, yeah! It looks like a movie basically, and that's what it's been like for Star Trek Discovery as well. Like CBS All Access, who are producing these shows, they really are putting so many resources into them, and because they're kind of co-funded by Netflix, Discovery's co-funded by Netflix. Amazon Prime is running Picard internationally, so there's all kinds of different like revenue or funding streams that are helping to pay for these things. And they even said on the Discovery portion of the panel today that basically every episode the goal is to make a mini movie, and they really look like it too.
That's awesome to hear. And so there's the new short tracks available today. Do we have a premiere date for Discovery Season 4?
We just know Discovery Season 3 is coming in. That's okay. It's coming in 2020, and they're actually kind of rebooting the show in a sense in that they launched them all 930 years into the future. So whereas it used to take place in the era of sort of Spock and Kirk, now it's 1,000 years into the future, where basically we've learned today the Federation is completely screwed in the future. Things are real bad. Okay. So it'll be a new premise. And then Picard is debuting January 20-something.
23rd.
23rd. There you go. Thank you.
And that is going to be on CBS All Access and then sort of internationally on Amazon Prime, right?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Cool. Well, we don't have to wait too much longer, but if you want to find out more about what's going on in the wide world of Star Trek, it's much bigger than a whole world. We'll cover it right here on IGN. Scott's your guy. We got lots more coming out of New York Comic Con, so stick around.